Hi guys, in today's video we are going to discuss about the match between Adiban Bhaskaran and Vidit Gujarati. The match which we are going to discuss is a classical match on the second day of round 3 where Adiban had the white pieces and Vidit had the black pieces. On the first day Vidit won the game using white pieces. So Adiban had to come back on the second day. We will analyze different positions and let's see how he came back. Adiban opened the game with c4. It's an English opening. Vidit replied with c5. He has also given a symmetrical position. Adiban developed his knight to f3. Vidit replied with a symmetrical position of developing his knight to f6. Adiban developing his knight to c3. Vidit responding a symmetrical position by developing his knight to c6. Adiban is slowly trying to control the center by moving his pawn to e3. Instantly Vidit replied with pawn moving to e5, controlling the center. So this pawn controls these two squares, and this pawn controls these two squares. So we all know that in any chess game, controlling the centers is a key thing. In the next move, Adiban developed his pawn to d4. So at this position, this pawn is being attacked thrice and also being supported thrice. Nevertheless, Vidit took the pawn with black pieces, in the black pawn. Adiban took the pawn. Instantly, Vidit, instead of taking, replied with pawn developing to d5. Now Adiban developed his bishop to g5, pinning the knight. The knight is pinned. Vidit replied with taking the pawn on d4. Now this pawn is attacking the knight, and this pawn can be captured by knight. That is one option, and or otherwise this knight can capture this pawn. That's also another option. So Adiban went with capturing the pawn on d5. Vidit is trying to attack the knight. We all know that knight sitting on a center square is a dangerous thing. It controls all the key squares. All the key squares. So it's a dangerous position. So white wants to push that knight out, or he just want to exchange the pieces. Adiban developed his queen to b3, although a much better option would have been developing the queen to a4, pinning the knight. That was an option, I think. But this move was done basically to give an additional support to the pawn as well as attack this weak link. Vidit replied by capturing the knight. As I already told, knight at a center square is a dangerous thing, so it's better to trade it off with a lesser strong piece. Adhiban took it with the pawn, took the bishop with the pawn. Now Vidit developed his bishop to b4, giving a check. Knight doesn't have any other option. The king doesn't have any other option. Although there are options of retreating the bishop back or maybe blocking it with the knight, all options were there, but Adhiban went with moving the king to d4, d1. Vidit captured the pawn using the queen. Now Adhiban responded by attacking the queen. So he has ideas of capturing this pawn as well. If at all the queen is moved, the queen is attacked twice. So the queen need to move to d4 to give us protection to the pawn. Yeah, that's what Vidit did. Vidit retreats his queen to d7. Adhiban moves his bishop to b5. So that is kind of it's a not a great move as such in this position. Although a better move would have been to just take the knight, and maybe so the whole idea of taking the knight is it can be only captured by the pawn, and it will completely destroy the pawn structure. Vidit replied with queen moving to d6. So Vidit was having that at some time this knight can be captured, and it can be captured using the queen without any destruction of the pawn structure. Adhiban developed his pawn to a3, trying to attack the bishop. The bishop is moved to a5. Yes, Adhiban took the knight. Vidit took it with the pawn, but he could have taken with the how that would have been. He would have taken with the queen. Yeah, that would have been also a good move. I think because it won't destruct the pawn and pawn structure, and it can be he can easily castle. That's also a great move, but I don't know why he had taken with the pawn. Okay, and Adiban has moved his queen to a4. Maybe idea is like capturing, in the next move he might be capturing the knight, and so there will be a double attack. So that was the whole idea, because this bishop is protected only by the knight. So he retreated back. He understood that that kind of a situation can happen. So he retreated his bishop, giving a protection using the pawn, adding additional pressure to uh, the knight. So Vidit is also going for a defender, adding more support to the knight. Now Adiban is moving his king to safety. So his whole idea is maybe like this. That's the whole idea. And Vidit is has also gone for the safety of the king by castling. But although this whole pawn structure is completely destroyed, this doesn't give much of protection to the king. He can move the king to h8. That might give a passive protection. The king is moved to b1. Now Vidit is developing his knight to e5. The whole idea is just it can be easily traded, but I think the better move would have been to jump to move the knight to e7 and then develop, maybe come here, and it would have been a great square for the knight to sit. Adiban is like, okay, anyway, his with its knight is a, or maybe I think he just want to trade pieces. With it, just want to trade pieces so that there will be two combined pawns at the center, and it can be promoted. So that was his idea. So anyway, Adiban took the knight. Vidit took it with the pawn. So these two pawns are a great pawn structure at the center. It can easily be promoted if played in a correct manner. Now Adiban moved his bishop to d3, adding an additional pressure to the h7 pawn. Adiban with it took the exchanged his exchanged his rook, and Adiban took it with the rook. Exchanging, so Vidit is just advancing the pawns. He has all ideas of promoting. That is the whole idea, just pushing the pawn. So there might be an idea of pushing this pawn also in the future. So in order to control this square, Adiban has moved his pawn to f3. So Vidit is moving his king to a more safer position. This diagonal is little dangerous. That's the whole point. So that's why he has moved his king to h8. Now these are all just normal moves, giving an additional pressure here. Now Vidit retreated his queen. and Adiban moved his queen to d5. Okay, and now Vidit is trying to attack the queen. Adiban retreats to b3. Yeah, so this move was anticipated by Adiban a long back. That's why he has pushed his pawn to f3. So Vidit pushes his pawn to e4. Adiban captures it with the pawn, and now the pawn is captured again by the f5 pawn. Now Adiban moves his rook to e1. Now this pawn cannot capture the bishop because it is pinned. He can capture it, but he will lose the queen. So Vidit pushes his pawn to e3. Adiban moving his rook to f1. Vidit moving his king to g7. Now Adiban trying to develop his queen to a better position, trying to attack the king. Okay, now it's kind of a fork, but it is very well protected by the bishop. Now the pawn is captured by the bishop. Now Vidit is trying to exchange the rooks, so he can taking itself is there is no problem. I think white is always taking the rook is also a doesn't give any it will be a good, it gives an edge to the white. There is no problem for white as such, but Adiban moved his rook to h1. The whole idea is he cannot move his rook to g1, because in the next move he will push his pawn and it's a double attack. So he will either lose his bishop or he will lose his rook. So that's why he has played it to h1. Again moving back the king to a safe square, adding more pressure to the h7 pawn. Now moving the bishop to control this diagonal. With it moving the bishop to control this diagonal. Now Adiban is like, okay, I'm gonna capture either your bishop or maybe the pawn if you are not giving moving the bishop to b6. But he had to move. Adiban now developing his rook to c1. Now the queen is moved to e3, trying to attack the bishop, giving an additional support using the rook. Now the queen is has been moved to e6. Now again the queen is moved to b4, trying to attack the rook. Queen is moved to e8, doubling up in this file. Yeah, so these are normal moves for just trying to give a queen exchange here, which Adiban is not willing to at this position. Yeah, these are all normal tactics trying to attack the king. Yeah, so here again Vidit offers a trade-off rook, which Adiban took it as a chance and he has gone for the rook exchange. Now he captures the pawn. Yeah, so that's why he loses a pawn in this rook exchange process. He is trying to offer again a trade of queens. Ideally, he is having 3 pawns, and he has Adiban has 4 pawns. So these are normal moves trying to give a mate. He cannot just take because it is being protected by the queen, trying to develop the pieces. The whole idea is just to promote this. Sorry. Yeah, so the whole idea was just to promote this pawn. Yeah, so this is another move. He is trying to capture this pawn, or he will lose the bishop. So he has to move his bishop, so he ideally lost that pawn. Trying to attack the king and trying to promote the pawn. Yes, are normal attacking tactics. Trying to attack at this position or at this position. At this point, Vidit offered a trade of queens, which I think it's a good thing to take, because anyway white is up 3 pawns. He has a passer, and this passer is also controlled by the light square bishop. So it's in favor of white, which he took, and Adiban started developing his pawns. Yeah, there is no way to stop. The black will just take the piece, but the black will lose 1 pawn also. So at this stage, black resigned the game, because there is no possibility of stopping the promotion, because this pawn is completely protected by this light square bishop, and he will keep pushing this pawn also, which is also controlled by the light square bishop. At one point, the king will be overloaded to fight against these 2 pawns. So that's how the game ended. It was a great match between both, and finally the game ended in favor of Adiban. Yeah.